Um, so let me introduce my friends. This is Christine Waters. This is Margaret Parsons, and this is Wendell Hoover. And Margaret works at the association, and you are, what's your official appointment?
The government affairs director.
Okay, and we are RPAC trustees. You know I'm busy, right? I wouldn't volunteer to do something like this if I didn't think it was important to our industry and our clients. We had a meeting yesterday, and one of the things that I pulled out of that was politics. We're either for politics or against politics. We don't want to be involved in politics, but politics influences our lives whether or not we want to be involved. What is politics? Anything that somebody pickets, right? Or something that's important to you. So real estate inherently is political. So we need to be aware of that. And what we try to do is have a positive impact on the candidates out there and support the candidates who are looking to support agendas which protect property owner rights. So.
Yeah, thanks, Justin.
Sure. Do you have anything to add?
No, we're good.
All right, well, good.
Yeah, that was it. Bye.
Can I ask you guys to speak loud so we can get you on the microphone?
I never have a problem speaking loud, so you don't have to twist my arm. First of all, good morning to everybody. Are we still in the morning? Yes, we're still morning. Nice turnout. It's quite impressive. You guys have so many people. Hi, Brendan. How are you? Okay, I am lucky to serve with that great guy on the board of directors. I also volunteer for the Government Affairs Committee, and I also am a RPAC trustee. So our whole purpose is to come out here. I know everybody gets their yearly bill, right? And you see that one little line that says RPAC trustee and everybody cringes because we're already paying a whole bunch of money as it is. But that little line really does hold quite a big significance. RPAC is something that is extremely important for our industry because, and mostly because of the fact that people don't realize we're actually bipartisan. So last year, I think what 49% as far as supporting go. We do not focus on political affiliation. That is not what we are about. We are focused on candidates and we are focused on what are their outlooks and what are their takes in regards to issues that would affect our industry. So like Justin said, whether you like politics or not, the reality is that our job is highly influenced by them and the policies that are created. And I am going to turn it on to the wonderful Margaret and Wendell, who can give you a much better in-depth spectrum of RPAC and whole.
So for those of you that don't know, RPAC, we have a three-way agreement with the National Association of Realtors, Pennsylvania Association of Realtors, and then the local association. So when you make your RPAC investment, a portion of it goes to GHAR, and then another portion goes to the state, and another portion to the local level. Every year, we're given a goal of a certain amount of money that we need to raise by the state, and we also make our own goals. It's usually higher. But whatever we exceed from that goal that we are given by the state, we get to keep because GHAR has its own PAC. So we do endorsements, interviews and endorsements for county and local candidates. So Wendell could tell you last year we did 17 candidate interviews for the municipal elections. It was 2 days of nonstop interviews. So we're talking all the borough councils, township supervisors, school boards, all that. So we interview them. Like Christine said, we are not, we do not support people based on party. We interview the candidates, we come up with a set of questions, and we make our decision based on how they support the real estate industry. It's nothing to do with party. And so we also, even though we do interviews and make recommendations and give out money to local candidates, we also interview the candidates for the General Assembly, which we will be doing coming up for the primary election. And we make recommendations to the state association. All of these, recommendations and money and support that we give to candidates all help you because we form relationships with all these state legislators. Like Wendell, he can talk about this. He is actually a state political coordinator. So he is assigned a state representative that he meets with and discusses real estate issues, kind of updates them as to what they need to know about our industry, if they have any questions. But these relationships really help all of you. So if you remember during the pandemic, and a National Association of Realtors was able to secure unemployment insurance for independent contractors. On the state level, the state was able to get the wholesaling legislation passed. It was last year, it all runs in my mind. They're now currently working on rewriting the RELRA, the Real Estate Licensing and Registration Act. We've been working on various different things like private roadways, maintenance agreements. But basically RPAC allows us to maintain relationships with all these different state legislators and also federal legislators, local officials. Here in Carlisle, we were very involved in the ordinance. I don't know if you heard about the historic property demolition ordinance for the Frog Switch property. We weren't successful in fighting it, but the county was very happy that we got involved and tried to help defeat that. So that has strengthened our relationship with the county, not so much with Carlisle Borough, so we are very active on all three levels and just forming relationships with the county commissioners. We have 3 breakfasts that you can also come to where you can meet your state legislators, you can meet your municipal officials, you can come to your county commissioners breakfast. So we have all of those, and all of that goes under RPAC in the terms of maintaining relationships with our state legislators, and that's what your RPAC funds do.
So before you jump on, to piggyback on what she said, in regards to the breakfast, if you give $99 or above, you can attend all the breakfast for free.
And I have cards, so you can.
They're actually at the West Shore Country Club, so they're pretty nice breakfasts. There was even a whole fun Jerry Springer moment last year.
Yeah.
At the commissioner breakfast, that was quite an interesting one. So, you might even be entertained, so you never know. But I mean, they're $15 is the minimum that for, Margaret, how would you phrase that, or Wendell?
To be considered as an RPAC investor, you have to make at least a $15 investment. A lot of people give like $1 or $10, but your money counts, but you don't count as an investor. You have to make at least $15.
Yeah, I think I'll just add, they said a lot of good points. And I'm not a political person. For many years, I was like, I'm a realtor and I don't want to lose a sale because someone considers me one way or the other, blue or red. And hopefully people still they'll care, I'm not overly political in any way, but your small investment, you don't have to be you don't have to be involved at all, but the interviews that we do, it takes time out of our schedule, but it's really valuable at some point. We don't know what they're going to try to pass or what is going to be important to us 5 years down the road. But the fact that someone remembers, oh yeah, GHR interviewed me or gave me money, that's potentially huge for your business and all of our business. So, it's just it's a very small investment, but it's a long-term investment potentially. So is there any questions that we can answer? Even if, I would say this, like when issues come up in your world, wherever it is, it's a particular municipality or a particular election that you are real keen about, let Margaret know so that we can be involved with it. We've just taken the stance that even if we're not going to give money to a particular election, we still want to interview the candidates and find out, be on their radar, make sure that they know that we're out there and we're involved. And a lot of them, they're sort of surprised that, we're doing it because a lot of there are PACs out there and they don't even interview people. They just give money here and there randomly, but we actually care and we want to learn the candidates and at a local level, you know, whether it's school board or municipal official, like whether it's a D or an R, they really, it doesn't matter. It's just, you know, are they common sense and what are their points? So, but maybe there's questions, you know, we're happy to answer any questions or.
And I did just want to add one thing.
Yeah.
That made me think of this. Also, because we are three-way, we start at the local and go up to the state and the federal. We have people in the state house that we supported when they were township supervisors, and now they're in the general assembly. And maybe someday they'll be in Congress, but they remember that we have supported them the entire way, and that really makes a difference when we have a problem.
So do you know, and you might not, we have agents in the room who are members of other associations such as RPAC, FCAR in Maryland. Do you know, do they operate the same way as GHAR does? So,
In terms of RPAC?
yeah,
Yeah, so most of them, I mean, every state has different campaign finance laws, so, they might be slightly different, but basically they all follow the three-way agreement with the state. I don't believe Lancaster does, but, most of them follow the three-way, agreement.
good to know.
So some of the big things that confront us now and going forward, it seems like we're always fighting the battle to make sure that we maintain our independent contractor status. That's a big one, because if they change all of you to employees, we have some very ugly decisions to make. So that status is very important to the industry because that's how we've grown up. That's the structure that's involved. Something else that's confronting us that nobody kind of expected is the whole data center tidal wave that's hitting the mid-state. We have affordable land. We have access to power and water for cooling. So until they can figure out how that's going, there could be some like unintended consequences if they don't get on that discussion quickly. And I think that that's on the tip of a lot of legislators' lips right now, trying to figure out what to do with this. In fact, at the legislative breakfast last year with Jerry Springer, one of the big takeaways was that a white paper was being circulated on data centers and policy proposals at that point. So that was the first that I had really heard about that, like where the rubber meets the road. So I thought that was a very valuable takeaway from just being at that breakfast. Other important things that RPAC has influenced, and the Government Affairs Committee specifically, the rental ordinances in all of our communities. Not for or against, but to make sure that they're structured properly and fairly.
Yeah, we worked with Camp Hill, try to make their, rental inspection more balanced. We
Right.
worked with Carlisle.
Too.
We tried with Carlisle, that's when I first started, so it was already in motion when I got here, so we tried, yeah.
Just another, so I know all three of us also involved on the state level too at PAR. And we are actually really lucky. Anybody can attend the PAR state meetings. They happen 3 times a year. If you attend the January one, that is the RPAC sponsored one. And at that one, once again, if you donate 99, another free lunch. So I'm just trying to feed you guys through RPAC. Encourage you to, obviously $15 is great, but there is benefits at higher levels. And then another thing we do, which will be coming up at our spring business meetings, is we will have a day where we have like Day on the Hill. So we will go meet individually with a whole bunch of different legislators. We'll talk about bills that they have. We will let them know how we feel about them, if we strongly support them, if we're opposed to one that's in the works. I don't know how far along. I think it passed, well, you would know those details, but one of the ones that's really great is they're working on like a first-time home buyer. One to get exempt from transfer tax.
Everything, yes, so
Basically.
the state portion
Yes.
would be exempt for first-time home buyers, and I believe it is the actual HUD definition of first-time home buyer. Somebody who's never owned property before, but a lot of that a lot of our bills were in the works, and then the budget stalemate kind of kind of killed everything, so they're being resurrected right now. But yes, we've been working on that for several years now, but that would exempt the state portion of the realty transfer tax.
I'll also highlight real quick, and this, you don't have to be an RPAC investor, but you can just come to our government affairs. We have to do it quarterly. We're doing a speaker series. So we just had a speaker on the data centers. It's someone who actually owns a small data center and just his whole perspective of these big data centers that are coming. So, but we'll often have a state representative or,
We're having Lower Paxton Township come on April 7th.
so if you are more interested in politics locally and just want to hear someone talk about it, or, you know, something related to politics, join us. It's typically an 8:30 to 9:30, 10 o'clock type meeting at GHA. I don't know what our next one is.
April 7th.
Any questions?
Margaret is the glue that holds us all together.
Please
I'm so
Make sure I
serious.
don't Go to jail.
Yeah.
don't. All right, well,
I'm gonna put a few cards on
Oh, I
it. Oh,
did.
you did already?
Yep.
All right, she's on it.
well,
Well, thank you for
thank
having
you so
us.
much.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.
Just, or did
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Do we have the rest?